What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Today is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. I am on the Belt Parkway in southeastern Queens, just by JFK Airport. We're heading a little bit after Howard Beach to Ozone Park. We have a new client that found us on YouTube, and they want to have their heating system have a maintenance and tune-up check before the heating season. I think they have a Burnham. I don't know if it's a steam boiler or a hydronic, and they may not even have a Burnham. Who knows? I could be wrong. But if I make it through this traffic, Waze says I have traffic getting worse. Yes, traffic is getting worse. Yeah, sure. Waze says I'm 21 minutes to my destination. So, but traffic is obviously a nightmare here because this is New York. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. There is no cost or obligation. It's the best way you can support the channel. And also smash that thumbs up button. And after the video, I would really appreciate your comments, thoughts, criticism down in the comment section down below. All right, guys. If I don't pull up my hair before I get there, I'll be able to record some video. All right, so I made a loop through JFK Expressway and got back on the Belt. Now I'm on the service road. But is there anyone in that car? I don't think there's anyone in that car. Do you see anyone in that car? I don't. I'm even looking at... Let's go. Come on, baby. Drive like a boss. Come on. Those places say Florida on them. No, they say Jersey. Drive like you have a purpose in life. All right, here we go. Burnham Independence. I'm gonna guess this is an IN4. Gas-fired steam boiler. Quick little observation first. We have 3/4 inch gas. Lower the cutoff. Sight glass. Pressure gauge. Pressuretrol. Boiler drain. The Hartford loop T is awfully low. It's right at the bottom of the sight glass. That normally is halfway. We have 1.25 inch wet return coming from the back and also the front of the house. 40-gallon A.O. Smith XCV 4300. 3-inch poke smoke pipe, crushed diverter because it needed some pitch. This should have been a low boy, and this should have been 4-inch, not 3-inch. Mechanical code states 40,000 BTU shall be 4-inch or greater. Automatic water feed. We come up, it appears to be about 18 inches, which is good, to our T, supplying the steam to the main header. Comes across, and looks like an abandoned radiator in the past. This goes to probably second floor, and this goes all the way to the front of the house. Let's follow that. At the end of this main should be, wow, you got a little creative there. So this is acting as a steam main, and it's not, because this is 1/4 inch, and you need at least 1/2 inch or 3/4. And this needs to be much higher, and it needs to be here at the end. But someone, it looks like there never was a steam main here. So someone added one at one point of the life of the house and put it right there. Drilled a hole, tapped it, added that nipple, that elbow, a bushing, and then a steam radiator air valve that acts as a steam main air valve. How long ago did you have your wet return replaced?
When they
replaced the boiler?
Yeah, when they put the
Okay.
I'll tell you why, because it ran, you can see the line. It ran up there.
Yes. So they rerouted it.
They rerouted it.
Very nice. So this was at one point a dry return, and they made that a wet return. Dry because it's above the height of the water line of the boiler. Now it's a wet return and it's copper. They could have added a valve and a drain there to power flush out the wet return because that, I don't know, how old's the house? 80 years, 90 years?
80, it's 100.
100-year-old house?
These are the original pipes.
100-year-old piping, which is uninsulated, which is vastly losing its latent heat due to the basement, and you're accelerating the wear and tear of this 100-year-old plus pipe, and those metal fragments work its way to the wet return and back to okay. But before we get started, scan in that QR code and make a donation to the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy charitable organization, where we provide free or low-cost plumbing, heating, and cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. So one of the first things I like to do is verify the integrity of the heat exchanger, the cast iron block. So let's add water to this boiler on a controlled setting. This is the manual bypass valve that allows the homeowner and or service technician to add water to the boiler and not use the feeder. We're going to monitor the water level. It's almost at the top. And we'll give that about 5 more seconds. And let's give that a close. The water should be all the way to the top. Let's remove the front door and let's take a look at our burner tube. All right, and as predicted, SIN4 LNI LE2 from manufacture date of December 2018. This is 105,000 gross BTU boiler, 87 BTUs on the net. Let's take a look. That looks pretty clean. I like that. We'll vacuum out whatever's remaining debris in there. We got electronic ignition. My switch is off, and I don't see anything going on in there, which is perfect. Let's remove that shipping screw. Take a look at the burners. All right. You know what? Looks crystal clear. Very nice. Let's remove one of the burners. And we may have to fine-tune the fire rate of the gas a little bit of, but they are clean. Look at that. And that's quite evident by the condition, overall condition of the boiler and the water heater. Homeowner takes very good care of the equipment, which is rare. You don't really see that often, but these are, wow. These are pretty damn clean. All right, I removed all the burners except that one. I loosened up the pilot tubing with my flare wrench. And the one thing the homeowner is not cleaning is the screen on the combustion air inlet screen for the water heater. Oh, yeah, you learn something new every day. All right, vacuumed out the combustion chamber. Homeowner's vacuuming out the screen.
You know what it is? It's the network down here.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, all of our burners are clean. Let's restart. Now, always the hardest part with Burnhams is getting these burner tubes back in. You gotta lay down on the floor, and you gotta patiently reinsert them. We'll do that 3 more times. All right, don't forget to, we put all the burners back in, vacuumed out the combustion chamber. The boiler's still filled with water. Doing a nice little long test there, even a small little drip, small little crack, we'll see that. On the newer Burnham Independence boilers, there actually is included zip tie in the thermostat relay. This is called the thermostat relay, by the way. This is a harness, and that's the relay. Is an included zip tie. Over time, they found with, and also us service techs, we found over time of this thing clicking on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off over the years, the harness itself will loosen up from the thermostat relay, and you won't have the when you're gonna have a call for heat, it won't click on, and you'll have no heat. So now there's a zip tie as the very simple way to solve this problem. All right, the thermostat relay is secure. The burners are back in place. Combustion chamber is clean. Let's drain the boiler down. Someone's been actively keeping this clean, both externally and internally. So question, ma'am, during the heating season, how often do you drain the boiler and test the low water cutoff? Once a week. Okay. That's a little excessive.
Oh, they told me once a week.
I know. It depends on who you ask. However, if you read the manual for the low water cutoff, it'll say that it needs to be tested on a monthly basis. Yep, we are. So we've done several buckets. Our sight glass is no longer has a visible watermark on it. Our water level is below the height of the probe. So we do have a low water condition. There are two main reasons to drain the boiler once a month during the heating season. And the first reason is that you want to make sure that the low water cutoff has that red light. And the second reason is you want to keep there's the automatic feeder feeding water. So we've tested that. Let's close that. The second most important reason, and some people even think it's the most important reason, to drain the boiler is to keep the water clean. The water column, the column of water inside the boiler needs to be clean. And the perfect reason for that, the most cost-effective reason for that is what temperature, a quick quiz for you. What temperature, let that run. What temperature, I want to make sure that turns off. What temperature does water boil at in Fahrenheit?
I used to know it.
So water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you think dirty water boils at the same temperature?
Probably not.
It does not. It does not. So if clean water will boil at 212 degrees, and it costs money. The natural gas that's burning is costing you money because your gas meter all the way down there is spinning, right? So if you could save money by boiling clean water versus dirty water, that could be significant savings.
Sure.
So some people tell me, what, I'd rather save the money than test the low water cutoff. All right, so the automatic feeder cycled. Our red light is still on our low water cutoff, but I'm not concerned.
Oh, it takes a while to go off.
Yes. No. Also, we don't have enough water in the boiler because it's still not visible on the sight glass.
It's probably gonna.
So what's likely going to happen is that's going to wait a duration of time and then restart. Let's see if it stops at that mark.
And yeah, I had the marker there. It should. Usually does.
There you go. So about maybe 3/4 of an inch above that mark, which is okay. Let's get some more water out of here. We're going to drain this in its entirety, and then we're going to add our surge protection. SurgeX, sorry, not surge protection. Surge protection is for the power. Right there, we're going to add SurgeX, which will help produce more of a drier and less violent steam. All right, we're going to loosen up our 2-inch cap coming out of the second supply, which was not used during installation. This one, I'm taking the cap off. And we'll be able to take a peek inside the boiler while it's slowly draining. Let's see what we see inside there. Yeah, there's that water level all the way down there. All right, so we are just about done draining. A few drips remain. Over here, we're going to use our SurgeX steam boiler treatment, and we are going to carefully, without dropping the container, dump that container into this tapping. See, all gone.
Same thing is happening.
Yeah, I hear that the homeowners insurance in Florida has gotten out of control. All right, we dumped SurgeX, tighten up the cap, put some dope on it by Hercules, and she is done. So, let's manually feed. And let's see if the residual iron and all that other good stuff that's in that boiler, if the SurgeX can overcome and give us a tint of green to that water column. Let's see. I'm wagering. Yeah, see, we still got some dirt there. But I think once that settles down, we should be okay. Okay, I wasn't going to adjust any of the settings, but the pigtail, which is underneath, needs to be cleaned.
I thought the setting. Right.
No, I'm not messing with the settings.
Okay.
Because steam needs a half a pound of pressure.
No.
And these are always set to 2, 4, 5, 10. Sometimes people think...
The banging on these pipes, when they put it in, was brutal.
Correct. Yes. Because the Pressuretrol was not properly calibrated, and even from the factory, it comes at a much higher rate than what's necessary. Because, well, number one, this is a mechanical based control, but operates with springs versus old school ones that operated with mercury. And the only real way to actually fine tune the steam pressure in this home would be to replace the Pressuretrol with a Vaporstat. A Vaporstat, right, utilizes more finer.
How much is a Vaporstat?
More expensive than this.
How much? I'm serious.
I'll have to look it up. All right, so we remove the 2 wires from the 2 screws of the Pressuretrol. We're spinning it off. We have, it looks like, you see, it's a Vaporstat will give you much more finer measurement.
Right.
See, the first number is 2.
Right.
So you're about maybe 1.5. And on the differential, which is the left side, we're at 0.5 PSI.
Should be less, you say.
According to the dead men, we call them dead men because the men who installed new steam heating systems 100 plus years ago were dead. So we mean that with great pride and respect from them.
Yeah.
But the dead men knew that you didn't need high pressure of steam in order to properly heat a building or a house or a skyscraper, right? You need very little pressure. By adding more pressure to a system, you'll have those symptoms of banging, and you'll have excessive fuel bills because now it's using way too much fuel than what's necessary.
Yeah, and it turns on a lot.
Short cycles, which is not good. So the dead men realized, they knew this because they basically invented steam, right? They put these in homes.
Right.
They put these in single family homes, triplex, duplexes, even skyscrapers, right? But you don't need that much pressure to operate a steam system, especially in a residential setting. There are many times during the winter where I go to a house, I'm doing a tune-up, especially if it's a new customer, and the Pressuretrol is either, sometimes they're broken, right? And the customer's complaint was, Mike, last year, the boiler was making all these horrible noises. I had to turn it off every 5 minutes, right? And the steam was coming out of the valve, the air vent, the relief valve, which is right here. And let's make sure that says 15 PSI, which it does. Good. And it's missing a drip leg too. Oh. We have a drip leg deficiency in this house.
Evidently.
So this little loopy looking pipe is called a pigtail.
Okay.
And I bet you it's got some. I bet you it's clogged. What do you think?
I would guess.
Want to bet? Yeah. We don't want to wager?
No.
Okay, we won't wager. Not clogged.
Oh, all right.
All right. Pressuretrol is reinstalled. Pigtail is parallel with the front of the boiler or perpendicular with the side. Top and bottom. Pressure should be half a PSI, or with this particular Pressuretrol, under 2 and 0.5 as the differential. Let's fire up and we'll do a combustion analysis. All right, so the homeowner is going to flip on the thermostat. Once we hear that thermostat relay click. Our damper is closed. And nothing yet. All right, I sent the homeowner upstairs to turn on the thermostat. Maybe there's a delay. Maybe she just turned it on, didn't realize you got to raise up the temperature. I'm going to set up my Testo 320 Combustion Analyzer. Waiting for that click. Ma'am? By the way, check this out. This is a float switch which is wired to the wash machine that kills power to the machine if it overflows. Did you, what did you raise the temperature of the thermostat to?
I need to make it higher, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
sorry about
So whatever the room temperature is, you got to raise it up higher than the ambient temperature. It's okay. All right, take 3. It's always the little dogs, by the way. There it is. So that click you heard was the relay powering, closing the circuit. And then we have 24 volts to our vent damper, which is going to open. As long as my spill switch, low water cutoff, Pressuretrol, vent damper switch, and rollout switch are okay, we'll have ignition, which is what we have. Yeah, it was 100 years old. So normally on the top of the basement stairs is called your emergency switch. The one that's on the boiler is called the service switch. So that is your switch. All right, so we're gonna let this boiler run for a few more minutes, and then we're gonna do a safety test. It's called a combustion analysis. I have this sophisticated machine that measures the exhaust gases of the machine, making sure that it's burning properly, but most importantly, safely. A gas burning appliance that is not burning to 100% efficiency will produce carbon monoxide as a byproduct. Carbon monoxide is known to kill people in concentrated amounts. So one of the things that we always do as its company policy is that anytime we service a boiler or heating system, we do a safety test with a piece of equipment like this. So when we're done, we will know exactly, because it'll give us a printout, which will be left with the boiler, and you'll know exactly how it's operating today, which hopefully is perfect, because the boiler's almost perfectly brand new. All right, so we're gonna take this probe, and it's gonna get inserted on the top of the boiler, and it usually sticks right there. So our probe is inside the top of the boiler before it reaches the diverter, which is what this opening is, the back of the boiler. And we're gonna start our measurement, which I normally start it in advance. I just forgot to this time, but it's already zeroed out. And let's take a look and see what our numbers were. All right, 8.2% O2, 10 parts per million carbon monoxide. We have an 81% gross efficiency. Let's take a look at CO2, which is 7.8. Our numbers should be between 325 and 500. Closer to 500 than the lower 325 on that scale, because it is a steam boiler. So we're starting at 212 degrees instead of 180 degrees of water temperature. O2 should be 4 to 9, CO2 should be 6.5 to 8, and less than 50 parts per million carbon monoxide. I want to see if I can bring that 9 number down by making an adjustment to that valve. All right, I removed that screw, and we are going to take an adjustment. Let's decrease slightly the fuel pressure going across the valve. All right, we're between 7 and 8 parts per million of carbon monoxide. My O2 is getting close to my max limit of 8.9. So I think this is the lowest we're gonna get. My stack temperature did decrease a little bit. Let's take a look at our CO2. We're at 6.7. Referring to our chart, we should be, yeah, so we're good there. 6.5 to 8. 9, and we're at 7. Okay. All right, now that we clipboarded our results for the combustion analysis, now we're testing for draft. Our stack temperature will be near that original reading, and we have great and negative pressure. Perfect. So we'll clipboard this in a few seconds. That's good, let's even get to 410. Ooh, there you go. Clipboard. All right, combustion test is done. Valve tags, like this. There are 5 important valves in your house, okay? They should all be operable, but it's okay if a couple of them don't work. The gas for the boiler or your furnace. The water for the boiler, right? Let's say the water is pouring out of all the air valves on the radiators. Closing this valve like that will prevent more water from coming into the boiler. Then, of course, turn off the switch and go from there. The water heater valve, okay? Gas for the water heater. Now, you'll never be able to turn this off by yourself because it requires a wrench, unlike that. And, of course, the water main valve. Now, here is your water main coming in.
Yeah, it's old.
Wow, that is lead piping.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
To the street. Led to the street.
Wow.
Yeah, so I run my water every morning before I even start drinking it.
Good.
Yes, I have.
I know this is New York City. You have exceptional water, but you have exceptional water at the source, right?
No, but the problem, I can't change this unless it breaks. The city will not allow you to do it.
I know, but what you could do to help, give yourself better water in the home is add a water filter.
I do have a water filter.
Okay, very good.
Oh, no, I filter all my water.
Good.
Please.
So this is your water meter. And out of all the valves that you see here, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 valves here, this is the only one that you'll use, which is valve tag, the main water valve.
Okay.
And it'll close 90 degrees and like that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So that is one of the 5 valves that every homeowner needs to know.
I would redo all the pipes. I would have it done from top to half to open the walls and just do them.
And there's our printout.
Oh, very good.
Very nice. So, just the only real thing to keep in mind is it's not green. Once it settles, it may be a little green, but if it's got a slight tint if you do that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
As long as I can see where the water line is.
I just want to lower.
Yeah, good. I'll get it anyway.
Water heater. Sorry. Not like drinking New York City water from the tap. Okay. The only real concern I have here is your diverter, which I guess it works. But let's test our draft. Is it on very hot? No. Let's put it on high. Let's let that fire up. Let's test draft. Let's see. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it in the camera. We do have, let's see.
You want it now?
No, I just want to light I want it to smoke. We are, yeah, minimal draft. If we put our hand in front of it, at least we don't feel our blowing out, but the flame should be sucked into the draft hood, and it's not. And the smoke, whatever, the residue of the smoke is going up, and it should be going into the diverter. So again, at least it's not blowing out. Like I put, sometimes the installers leave the insulation on the piping, and you'll see it right around the diverter. It's melted because the hot exhaust gases is melting the foam insulation. So at least you don't have that here. Like I put my hand in front of some of these, and it burns because that exhaust gases are blowing out. So you don't have that, but you don't have good draft either. So.
I'm going to be changing that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:25. I spent roughly an hour and a half on this service call. It was built for an hour and a half, of course, built for the SurgeX steam boiler treatment that we added. But most importantly, I gave the homeowner who was there the whole entire time a plethora of information that she appreciated off camera as we were selling up the bill. She thanked me and then also gave me a tip. And that is basically, besides the highest form of a compliment is a referral, but that is the second highest, biggest compliment that you can get as a technician, a tip. You're getting a tip from your client, your customer, the person you're working for. They're already paying you, right? But if you go above and beyond and they feel that they got the value from you being there and you helping them, and you go went above and beyond, that will generally happen. I'm not saying it happened in every single case, but I do quite well just with tips alone. And I try to politely decline, but I'll decline once or twice, but if they really insist, I'm taking that, right? Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Try to do one better than the last. If a homeowner is going to engage in helicopter, I wouldn't even consider her a helicopter, but if a homeowner is going to engage with you during the service call in their home, in their property, try to engage, in some knowledge. That way, you'll further strengthen that new or developing relationship. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be well, God bless, stay safe.